What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Star Bazaar and to another news update for Star Wars Battlefront 2. We're gonna jump right into the news, but before we do, I want to try to set a realistic like goal for this video. You guys absolutely crush it with all of the support and interaction you guys give the video, so let's see if we can get this news update to 1,000 likes in the first day. Of course, only if you enjoy the coverage. If you don't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down, and leave a comment letting me know what you didn't like about it. But with that, let's jump into the news. We've got a healthy mix of good and bad news today. We'll keep the mood light and start with the good news, and this revolves around lightsaber combat in Battlefront 2. Ben Walk, our community manager for Battlefront 2, put out a tweet yesterday talking about changes coming to lightsaber combat. In it, he says, "A lot of talk about lightsaber combat in Star Wars Battlefront 2 recently. Right now, our priority is to remove the frustrations you are feeling. Working to make staggering less impactful for the player being attacked, reduce risk of rubber banding, improve dodges, etc. More on the way." This made me really happy to see, because Ben isn't just saying, yes, we're fixing lightsaber combat and leaving it at that. He's actually listing the specific issues, the rubber banding, the stun locks, the bad dodges. All of that leads to a lot of issues with the lightsaber combat, but the fact that he's addressing them specifically brings me a lot of hope. He even verified that some of these changes will begin rolling out in Battlefront 2 with next week's game update. This is phenomenal news, and I'm really looking forward to trying out the saber changes once they drop on Wednesday. Kind of in the same vein as that, Anakin Skywalker's Retribution ability will also be seeing some changes next week. Out on the Battlefront 2 subreddit, a user by the name of Bro Relax asks, how come Anakin's Retribution ability will sometimes work right away and other times not even activate despite spamming the button? Ben had a really good response to this, and I think it kind of ties into the lightsaber issues we were just talking about. He says, "This is due to timings going on in the back end, is something we're aware of and working towards. I'm curious to see how some of the changes we're making in next week's update will affect hero combat, will be a good step forward." How much do you guys want to bet that some of the issues with the lightsaber combat and just the hero combat in general has to do with some of those back end timings he mentioned in that response? The rubber banding, the stun locks, the dodges that won't go through, probably all have to do with the back-end timings, so if they're making adjustments to those, I'm sure the lightsaber combat will be a lot more fluid after next week's update. That's my hope anyway. We've all seen how their bug fixes can go sometimes. Regardless, we've been told that a lot of love is going into this next game update, so I'm fairly confident that lightsaber combat will at least improve, and I think all of this is really good news. With that out of the way, we're going to move on to the bad news now though. And this is going to especially affect the players who were really excited for Instant Action coming to Battlefront 2. Instant Action is the new large-scale offline game mode coming to Battlefront 2 in the next update. A lot of players, myself included, are really excited for Instant Action because it's the same mode that a lot of us grew up playing with the classic Battlefront 2 back in 2005. That mode offered such a level of freedom in the world of Star Wars that it was hard not to enjoy it, and the fact that it's coming to EA's Battlefront 2 this month is all the reason to be excited. Unfortunately, we were informed a couple of weeks ago that Instant Action would only be featuring the Clone Wars maps in Battlefront 2 to start. We will only get to play on the 5 Clone Wars maps when Instant Action first releases, but hopefully later on down the line, the original trilogy and sequel trilogy era maps will also be introduced. But the bad news here today is that we have finally learned what heroes can and cannot be played in Instant Action to start. Ben Walk confirms out on the subreddit that only Clone Wars heroes and villains will be available to play in Instant Action when it drops. We will not get to play as Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, Rey, Han Solo, any of those characters from the original trilogy and sequel trilogy eras. When it first drops, Instant Action will very much be era-locked to the Clone Wars. Which is pretty unfortunate to hear, because the idea of Instant Action is to provide the player a level of offline freedom that they really couldn't get online. I do understand it for the sake of immersion. It's kind of weird to have Kylo Ren running around on Naboo, but at the same time, being limited in offline play also feels weird. Of course, this is just a start. When Instant Action first drops, it will just be with the Clone Wars maps and Clone Wars heroes and villains, but that doesn't mean it can't be expanded later on down the line. Here's to hoping it eventually does, but with that, we're going to move on to our last piece of news, and this is more of a conspiracy theory debunk by Ben Walk. In yesterday's news update, we went over a tweet by Battlefront 2 Live's design director Manuel Yanes talking about some terror and spookiness going into the October game update. Obviously, this is in honor of Halloween, but it got a lot of people thinking, just what could this terror be? The scariest thing in Battlefront 2 right now, other than staring down Darth Vader or General Grievous, is probably Ewok Hunt, which got a lot of players, myself included, thinking that maybe we might see another hunt mode in Battlefront 2 next month. To take it a step further, a few people were taking Manuel's tweet pretty literally, with heavy emphasis on the word terror. In the Clone Wars animated show, Season 2, Episode 7, the episode is called Legacy of Terror, and a couple of people on Reddit brought this up. In this episode, our heroes go back to Geonosis and they meet the Geonosian Queen. The Queen is infecting our heroes with these parasitic worms that basically turn them into zombies under the Queen's control, which is pretty scary in and of itself, so some people were thinking, hey, maybe Geonosian Hunt or Zombie Hunt or something like that is going to be coming to Battlefront 2 in October. Wishful thinking and speculation, yes, but fact, no. Benwalk comes out and debunks this right away. On Reddit, Padawan Jack Bauer says, calling it now, the terror in October is new hunt modes for the Geonosians and the Acklay on Felucia with tweaked clone commandos. Benwalk responds, nope, debunking this now before the rumor mill runs away and everyone convinces themselves it's happening. So no Geonosian hunt, no Acklay hunt. What could this terror in October be? Leave a comment below and let me know your guesses. But that's going to bring this roundup of news to an end. Thank you all so much for stopping by the Star Bazaar and watching the video. Give the video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed the coverage and the commentary. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't. But most importantly, leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. The Cooperation Game update drops September 25th, and once the patch notes are released, we'll have a video going over all the information here at the Star Bazaar. So subscribe if you're not already, ring the bell to get notified, and that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you all stopping by the Bazaar. I'll see you all out on the battlefront. Peace.